Okay, well, I think we've found everything there is to find here. So wait, where are those? Oh, yeah. So time to head up. Where the hell would you have a manor here of all places?
How did Mortimer manage to build his manor at the top of a rocky outcrop?
Yeah, you don't say, especially using late 1700s technology. Oh, I thought the doors opened the other way. Yes, yes, I know.
Whoa. Impressive.
But kind of
my son. I was looking for you.
What can I do for you, Your Eminence?
I wanted to ask you. You are the son of Sara de Ricci, aren't you? You see, your mother and I were supposed to meet here on this very spot. I was supposed to hand her a very important envelope. But I haven't seen her.
If only Mother had told me why she was coming here. Anyway, I ought to take the envelope. It might have something to do with her disappearance. Listen, if it will help, you can always give it to me.
In a confrontation, you have to go through several steps while being as persuasive as possible. To have consequence for the rest of your story, so don't hesitate to use skills.
Well, thank you, my son. I'll bear that in mind. I'd rather deal with her directly. Don't take it personally. Would you happen to know if your mother has arrived yet?
Certainly, Your Eminence. Mother got here some time ago. I was hoping to find her when I arrived, but given the hour, she must be asleep by now.
Right. I shall see her tomorrow, then.
By the way, Your Eminence, I wasn't aware you knew my mother.
Ah, if you only knew, my son. I hold your mother in the highest
So this is like that thing from
She has rendered great service to the church, and her help is invaluable. I hope that you will follow in her footsteps.
If only she had told me where she was headed.
Nonetheless, our exchanges have always been discreet, and I should like them to remain as such. If your mother wishes to speak to you about us one day, I will not mind if she does so.
That is very commendable. But since we work together on a daily basis, it's surely just an oversight.
Most certainly. You said you work together. What do you do exactly?
Step 2. I feel like
My mother and I belong to the same secret organization, the Golden Order, which I joined a few years ago. Mother trained me, and I assist in her research. In other words, you can trust me.
My child, you are telling a perfect stranger that you and your mother work for a secret society. It would seem that discretion is not one of your specialities, my son. You will understand that it does not encourage me to put my trust in you.
Shit. All the same, it bothers me to see you in a quandary, Your Eminence. Is there any other solution? Look, if it's of any help, you can always leave your envelope with me, and I'll give it to her as soon as I see her.
I hesitate.
Because you fucked up.
Up till now, we have always dealt with her in person, and that has always been successful.
Okay.
Do you think I should give it to you?
Only you know that, Your Eminence. If you're asking me if you can trust me, or if I can keep a secret, I would answer yes, absolutely.
Even though
I understand.
didn't actually.
In truth, it all depends on the nature of the contents of your letter.
It is a list of names.
This list must be of extreme importance.
Ah, if only you knew. It's a list of people that your mother must help. Listen to me, my child. If I give you the letter, can you promise me before God that no one other than your mother will read it?
For last step, you must convince the person you are talking to given a positive answer. If you give a bad answer, the step will repeat itself into either you give the right answer or you have no blunders left. I don't believe in this God.
I swear by the Almighty God to honor the promise that no one but my mother shall cast her gaze upon your letter.
Good. Listen, let's stop there. I'm going to tell you a secret, Monsieur Delich. Your mother and I are organizing the escape of a large number of French priests who face a massacre organized by the accursed Republican tribunals. The church is literally being bled like a beast. Without your mother, hundreds of men
Republicans against the church.
Under the guillotine.
Man, that, you don't
she
see
has
that
made the
these days.
services of your order available to us by organizing the priests' safe passage across the borders.
Even though they
Even if she does not share all our convictions, she always provided assistance. Young man, you can be proud to be her son. Be it only for her sake. Always respect your name. Here, the letter I spoke of. It includes a list of about 50 names ready for departure. Be quick. Remember to tell Sarah when you see her that time is short.
Well played. I'll decide later when I'm alone whether to look at what it contains.
Hidden elements include the names of Hinman, some of them. Catch an adventure, do not hesitate to look for them. Oh, so the time is just to
blind Oedipus.
Basically the hell out of it.
Blinded himself. What a tragic destiny.
Wow. Insightful.
Saturn devouring his son. Good God, how awful. Everything in this painting is disturbing. It's the first time I've seen brushstrokes like this. Crucifixion of St. Peter. He was crucified upside down, out of humility. Surprising for an entrance hall.
Let's say no. It's a group near the chimney. I'm just gonna investigate the hell out of everything. So that's where I have to go. The question isn't where I have to go, the question is where I can go. Devil's Thorn, grants you exalted state. Okay, temporarily see the immunities and vulnerabilities, blah blah blah.
A Devil's Thorn, to be used to uncover the best disguised traits. Fall of the Damned by Rubens. The man who cannot achieve the salvation of God the Father is offered to fall into the depths of the abyss. Blind Oedipus, blinded himself.
Oh, okay.
What a tragic destiny.
Apparently I'm blind to repeat what I was saying.
Maybe I should introduce myself to the other guests first.
Nonsense, nonsense. Let's see. Door. Won't let me go outside or upstairs. Because of things.
Lives of the Noble Greeks and Romans by Plutarch, a biography of the great men.
Just, I'm just. gain permanent points. Look what, I'm just gonna stuff this book in my jacket, the same place I have the iron bar.
I thought my chimney was big, but this one is beyond belief.
It's the least one can say. I've been longing for a warm fire for ages.
Since I set foot on the island, I haven't ventured more than 2 yards away from it.
Have you also just arrived?
Oh, late morning, I'd say.
Louis, come join us. Monsieur, may I introduce you to Monseigneur His Eminence, Cardinal Piaggi. He joins us straight from Rome.
Oh, just call me Your Eminence. It's simpler.
George Washington, President of the United States of America.
Well then.
Delighted at last to make your acquaintance, Mr. President.
Pleased to meet you, Mr. President. Louis Moras de Richet. It is an honor to meet you.
Young man, let's keep it simple, please. Let us forget our fancy titles. Nice to meet you, Louis.
I should imagine you never thought you'd be in such company.
I must admit that I didn't. It's the first time that I've ever met so many illustrious personalities.
And you haven't seen anything yet. Generally, when Lord Mortimer organizes one of his receptions, there are over a dozen people here.
They can't all be here yet, and you'll see, most of the time there's only the upper crust.
And I noticed you were already getting to know His Eminence at the entrance. It's the perfect place to build up a network. What were you talking about, if you'll forgive my indiscretion?
At the risk of disappointing you, we weren't conspiring in our corner, sir. His Eminence was simply telling me that he knew my mother and how much he held her in high esteem.
It so happens that Monsieur de Richet's mother is to join us.
Oh, pity. No scrumptious gossip or juicy tidbits, unmentionable secrets, or even money matters. But you'll see, it will come. Despite all the goodwill in the world, you can't stop people scheming left and right around here.
Speak for yourself, sir.
Well, my friends, do any of you know the reason why we're here this time?
Not in the slightest. As for me, I've been invited by Sir Holm, a close friend of Lord Mortimer, but I do not know the reason why.
You see, Louis, every time Lord Mortimer organizes a reception, he always finds a moment to set up a chat with all the guests.
During which time we remake the world.
Oh, wow,
accompanied by gallons of absinthe and cussing. I'll leave you to imagine the result.
So, if I understand
no
rightly, Monsieur de Richet, you've come out here to join your mother. For what reason, exactly?
Lord Mortimer asked me to drop everything and come find my mother, who seems to have disappeared during her stay here.
Ah.
I took the first boat, and here I am.
I'm so sorry.
Don't be, sir. It's not your fault.
Seriously, though, I know your mother well. Stay behind with me afterwards, and we'll take a moment to speak about her.
Fuck.
Good evening, my friends.
Holy shit. That's
I thought
the
I
man
got
for
it.
my vision.
An urgent case has delayed our
I honestly
host,
thought I got
Lord
it.
Mortimer.
Oh, well.
He can't be present this evening, and he sends his deepest apologies.
He's asked me here and he hasn't even turned up? Great start. Do you know that man?
Sir Gregory Holm, an English aristocrat, very influential. He's also close to Lord Mortimer, so don't be surprised if he acts like he's at home.
And now, my dear guests, a light meal is served in the small salon. For those who would like to, you're invited to follow me into the next room.
My dear fellow, you must have read my thoughts. I shall follow.
We'll have to be careful not to make too much noise. One of Lord Mortimer's guests is relentless.
That is horrifying.
We shall be quiet.
Don't take it the wrong way, Sir Holm, but I've already eaten. Thus, I shall be happy to remain by the fireside.
If you don't mind, Gregory, I should like to keep Mr. Washington company.
Please feel at home. And you, sir?
If I stay with Washington, we'll be able to speak about my mother. But on the other hand, I'd like to learn more about this home. I I saw him in my vision. Let's see what Washington has to say.
Sir, if you don't mind, I shall stay here.
Do exactly as you please, young man.
Louis, thank you for staying. Just like you, when I arrived this morning, I found out that Sarah had gone missing. I know your mother well. Don't worry. Emily is from the English branch of the Golden Order.
And President Washington is in fact the leader of the Order in the United States.
I didn't know.
Sorry to have made you wait, but I didn't want to speak in front of the others.
You did well. Secrecy and discretion are the pillars of our organization.
If I can help in any way at all, please don't hesitate to ask, my lad. And if you have any other questions, now's the time.
And you, Emily, what do you think of my mother?
I only know her through the Order. The one time we met, we only exchanged a few words in a corridor of Parliament.
And was the exchange courteous or impassioned?
I'm not sure if I understand.
Was there any reason for her to be angry with you?
Under other circumstances, I would slap your face for even asking, but I'll put your lack of tact down to her disappearance. Know that your mother is a woman I would love to work with. Her reputation is entirely deserved. Mr. Washington will be able to tell you more.
Mr. Washington, you seem to be very familiar with my mother.
Where did you first meet her?
I met Sarah during the War of Independence on American soil. She was introduced to me by a mutual acquaintance, and I must say that her sound advice prevented me from making some terrible mistakes. She may not be a soldier, but believe me, she deserves a statue as much as Lafayette does.
Well, I didn't see that one coming. There's no doubt Mother has many secrets that are still hidden.
Right. Would it be too much if I asked you a few more questions?
Not at all. Go ahead. But I can't promise I'll remember everything.
May I ask, when you saw each other, what did you talk about?
My mother has always been fascinated by strange powers. Did she talk to you about anything like that?
Yes. Her facility for discerning truths from rumor served me well. Such as preventing massacres, like the one at Salem, from happening again.
Yes.
Or convincing people that horsemen cannot ride around without heads. What was it that she used to say now?
Keep an open and logical mind?
Yes, that's it.
Thank you, sir. I was hoping to speak with Lord Mortimer. At least now I have some information, thanks to you.
I repeat, Lord Mortimer is a man of his word. You won't be disappointed. And I am persuaded that your mother's research is his main concern.
Mother still is at the head of the Golden Order. I find it difficult to believe that she came to this island without notifying the other members.
As for myself, I did not know. I am here at the request of Sir Holm, a situation regarding the Crown of England to resolve, and to see what Lord Mortimer has to propose to us.
As for me, Lord Mortimer asked me here to speak about the future of America. I did not know that your mother would even be among us. In any case, no one has yet mentioned associating the Order.
We haven't found many clues yet.
Don't worry, Louis. I'm sure nothing bad has happened to her.
Yes, I hope not.
Oh, hey, it's a guy.
Careful, they're coming back.
Oh.
Well, I am impressed with all this splendor.
But don't spend too much time with Mr. Washington, my dear, or you'll lose your pretty accent. You seem to be intrigued by that statue.
Absolutely. It is remarkable.
Lord Mortimer is fond of atypical works of art. I won't disguise the fact that I find it all a little megalomaniacal. But I must say, he does have some outstanding pieces.
Sir Holm, who was that young lady with you?
Wait, what?
Elizabeth Adams,
I
Mr.
don't
President. She would have liked to have stayed with us, but the poor thing is exhausted.
Elizabeth Adams?
Just mentioning Elizabeth totally changed Washington's attitude. Looks like he just saw a ghost.
Miss Adams is here to rest. You have perhaps already come across her in the corridors. She arrived a few days ago.
I perceived her, but we weren't introduced.
Rest assured, she is not here for the same reasons as yourselves. Consequently, I'm counting on your indulgence.
Washington looks surprised, but Holmes doesn't seem to see it. I wonder if he's being polite or if he really doesn't see his discomfort.
On that note, it's very late. You must be exhausted. The servant will accompany you to your rooms.
I'm confused. Well, not really.
Ladies, gentlemen, I bid you all good night.
I'm actually going to pause it just right for a second. Hang on.